I'm Oleg Naumenko. I'm CEO of HIDEEZ Group. I am security geek with successful business background, and I believe in magic based on new technology. Now I want to share my mind about some bridge, how to build a bridge between password-based authentication and passwordless authentication. So currently we used a lot of authentication methods. We still used a lot of static password. We use one-time password. We have smart cards. We have FIDO UTF and FIDO2. But all of us dream about unified passwordless authentication. If we see in real life, we want to cover full day authentication scenarios started from open the door. We still have an office space. We need to open this door. We want to log into a computer. We want to have access to some web application or native application. We need to work in virtual environment, and also will be good if we will have unattended logout. When user go away, automatically lock and point without additional frictions. But in real life, one company average have 150 services, and these services very different. Just 10% of these services used FIDO passwordless authentication. Next, 60% of services have integration with identity providers. It means can cover it with passwordless authentication based on FIDO. But 20% of services still required just a local user with password and two-factor authentication. Also, some of the customers have around 10% of services, like legacy services, which required only static passwords. So in real life, around 60% of services still required password and one-time password. But we want to have just a passwordless authentication without any additional frictions. If we talk about authentication scenarios, I propose to compare these authentication scenarios based on security, complexity, and time. All of us know time is money. So we want to calculate how much money we spend to authentication. So one of the simple and completely not secure authentication methods, just username. So much better if we have username plus password plus one-time password. But right now it's not enough for secure authentication. Also, it's take a lot of time for input manually login, manually password, and one-time password. So right now we see opportunity to use a FIDO authentication. FIDO based on platform authentication, which can build in biometric sensor in your laptop, smartphone, or tablet, or closed platform security key with NFC, Bluetooth, or USB connectivity. So if we use platform authentication with built-in biometric sensor, it can take just 5 seconds for authentication. It's very simple and very secure. If we talk about cost of authentication, we want to calculate this time. So if we use a login, password, and two-factor authentication, it can take around 60 seconds each time for authentication. If we calculate this time for 30 times per day, 24 working days, and 12 months for 1,000 employees, which have average $20 per hour salary, we need to spend around $3.5 million. Also, we want to remind about IT support and maintenance for two-factor authentication. A lot of users don't remember passwords, they want to reset password, and so other things. So if we use FIDO passwordless authentication with biometric sensor, as we already know, it takes just 5 seconds each time for authentication. So it means with FIDO passwordless authentication, we can save up to $3 million just for a time of authentication. We don't talk about security. We don't talk about some complexity. We don't talk about compliance with some security policy. Just a time for authentication can save $3 million for one company with 1,000 employees. I think it's one of the biggest opportunity to move on passwordless authentication and save this time and money for your employees. So here in HIDEEZ, we have our own bridge between password-based and passwordless authentication. We have a hardware all-in-one security key which covered password-based authentication. We have built-in hardware password vault inside a HIDEEZ key. We also have two-factor authentication. We can generate one-time password. And we have connectivity with NFC, USB, or Bluetooth to any endpoint devices. Also, at the same time, we have RFID and NFC module, which can open the door, like a key card or badge from your office. This product already certified by FIDO standard, FIDO UTF, and FIDO 2, and we start sales this product on the market just a month ago. If you want to try it, just let us know, and we will be happy to provide a demo for all of us. And one of the more important things, I want to get your feedback about our vision to build passwordless authentication based on new FIDO technology. Thank you so much.